Hi, this is Jamey and I told you that I wanted to just share one very simple and very easy trick that I have learned over the years that have radically changed my life. Now, you're going to find that it's actually kind of simple and it's kind of funny, but when I first started to do this, I didn't have the goal or the intention that it actually produced for me. All I wanted to do originally was I just wanted to practice a certain statement, and that was when I started out my career. As soon as I graduated, I started out as a financial advisor, and I found myself very quickly advising business owners. And I have a degree in business, and later got my MBA. And I found that a lot of business owners were asking me a lot more questions than just simple questions about business plans or basic business functions. They were asking a lot of personal questions, and they were personal questions that dealt with, how do I do this with my employees? And they all seemed to be kind of interactive with human behavior. And it was more of a psychology lesson for me than anything. And so my confidence level was not that great. And I knew how to create a business plan, or I knew how to, put together, a supply chain. But I wasn't prepared to actually show business owners how to communicate effectively with their employees. So one day I just grabbed a notebook and I started to write in this notebook. Says, I am a very confident and competent business coach. And I kept writing that statement over and over and over and again. And originally, when again, my intent was not to become more confident. It was so that I could just learn how to communicate more effectively with my clientele. But what ended up happening as a couple months went by, I started to feel more and more confident, and I started to feel like I could give some really good advice. And then what I noticed was this. My wife at the time, she also grabbed a notebook, and this was, about 30 years ago. And she started to write down a statement that she wanted a particular car. And she wrote down, I want to drive this car. And she named the car. And so as I was writing my goal here of becoming more and more confident as an individual, my wife was writing a goal to get a car. And what ended up happening is after a couple months went by, and writing inside my notebook, my Mead notebook. Now, you don't have to have just a Mead notebook, just get anything. But I made it a goal that each and every day I would fill out one complete page. And my wife had a goal that she would write one complete page of her car. Now, this was kind of before like vision boards or vision statements or positive affirmations was really kind of a mainstream for us. But what we noticed very quickly is, wow, I started to become more confident in my ability to communicate with my clientele, and I was able to help them become more and more effective. And that confidence allowed me to get more creative in my practices. And eventually I was doing a lot of personal one-on-one consulting with my clients. But also I noticed that I started to make a little bit more money, and we were able to afford the car that my wife was driving. And so as I learned how to develop my neural network and started to study the law of attraction, and I started to understand neuro-linguistic programming, I found out that this is a wonderful technique that actually begins the process. Now, here's the trick. The trick is it doesn't take very long, about 5 minutes or less, to write one page or less in a Mead notebook. But when you perform this habit each and every day, over and over and over and over and over and over again, you start to be able to bring upon the law of attraction. Now, there's two things about the law of attraction, and you'll find this out if you end up going through one of my courses later on. Gravity has an ability like a magnet to pull something to you. And so there's two things that we know about the law of attraction. Number one is that your thought process develops the attitude, and thoughts actually have a microvolt to them. And that microvolt is an energy process that goes out into the universe like a like a radio wave, and it is picked up by the vibration of the thing that you want. But the second thing that we know is as your body starts to change its vibration within itself, this actually has mass. See, I weigh 180 pounds right now. So I am a 180-pound magnet to whatever it is that I'm thinking. And so if I'm thinking constant negative thoughts, or if I'm thinking constant positive thoughts, or if I'm thinking about doing certain things in my work, or if I want to lose weight, whatever my dominant thought is, think of a 180-pound magnet here that's drawing this towards me. And so one of the things that I told you in the email that I would give you if you clicked on this is one little tip. And this tip could be worth literally hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars worth of very valuable advice. But it is something that you have to take the time each and every day to perform the activity. And I would not type it, I would write it. And so, I always have a pen and my notepad. And I will tell you that over the years, I have written in thousands of these, literally thousands of these. Sometimes I will write 1 page a day, but sometimes, if I have a day off or I'm doing an activity like watching TV, I can sit and write and do this activity sometimes for several hours a day. And there you go. One little tip or one little trick that doesn't take a whole lot of effort, but it just takes a little bit of dedication. And if you have any questions about this, I'd be happy to explain more to you. So send me an email if you do. And if you're looking for the motivation, if you're looking for something that you really don't know exactly what it is that you want, well, send me an email. We can talk about that as well. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch this short little video, and I'll talk to you soon.